In the history of football, there are moments that divide time into two parts: before and after, before the pressure, before the doubt, before the storm, and then after the player who refused to bow to it. This is not just the story of Real Madrid's comeback. This is the story of one man who walked into the heaviest shirt in football and decided to redefine it. This is the era of Kylian Mbappé at Real Madrid. When Mbappé arrived in Madrid, the world expected magic. What they didn't understand was the weight that comes with the white shirt. This is not Paris. This is not Monaco. This is the Santiago Bernabéu, where legends are not celebrated for potential, but judged by trophies, by clutch moments, by nights when everything is on the line. And in the early months, things were not perfect. The goals came, yes. The speed terrified defenders, yes. But the chemistry wasn't complete. The balance wasn't right. Critics got louder. Fans grew impatient. Headlines became brutal. Too many stars. No leader. Mbappé doesn't fit. The pressure that breaks most players was tightening like a noose. And then came the slump. 3 games without a win, dropped points, a shaken dressing room, injuries piling up, opponents smelled blood. Social media turned toxic. Every touch by Mbappé was judged. Every missed chance magnified. It looked like Real Madrid, the eternal kings of Europe, were finally vulnerable. Then came Athletic Bilbao, a cold night, a hostile stadium, a team desperate to protect history, facing a team desperate to rediscover it. For 60 minutes, it was chaos. Madrid struggled, Bilbao pressed, the midfield battled like warriors, every attack was blocked, every run was tracked, and then, in one moment, everything changed. Mbappé received the ball near the left channel, 2 defenders closed in, a third tracked his run. It should have been a dead end. Instead, he exploded. 1 touch to escape, a burst of speed that bent reality, a low finish that silenced an entire stadium. 1-0. The camera caught his face. No celebration, no dance, just cold focus. Like he was saying, we're not finished. 10 minutes later, they tried again to stop him. Same result, different angle. A feint, a cut inside, a strike so precise it looked inevitable. 2-0, and in that moment, you could feel it. The fear had changed sides. Real Madrid went on to score again, a clean 3-0 victory, but the scoreline never told the real story. That night wasn't about 3 goals. It was about control, about authority, about a team that remembered who they were, and a player who reminded them. After the match, the interview said it all. The goalkeeper spoke of discipline. The captain spoke of unity. The midfielders spoke of sacrifice. But every headline on earth spoke one name: Mbappé. This was the turning point. From that night onward, something changed inside the team. The runs became sharper. The passes had purpose. The pressing became aggressive. Young players started believing again. Veterans found new energy. The dressing room, once divided by pressure, became united by hunger. Mbappé stopped playing like a superstar trying to fit in, and started playing like a leader who belonged. His movement improved. He tracked back. He created space for others. He stopped forcing moments and started controlling them. And with that change, Real Madrid's entire season shifted. Opponents no longer asked, "How do we attack Madrid?" They asked, "How do we survive Mbappé?" Fullbacks started sitting deeper, defenses became cautious, midfields dropped back. One player was reshaping entire tactical plans before the match even kicked off. But here is the truth most people missed. Mbappé didn't just change the scoreboard, he changed the mentality. Young players who once hesitated now attacked with confidence. Midfielders played riskier passes. Defenders stepped higher because they knew if we lose the ball, he will save us. If we need a goal, he will deliver. If the pressure rises, he will not disappear. This is what separates stars from icons. Then came the big nights, Champions League under the lights, the anthem echoing through Europe. Every mistake fatal, every moment eternal. In one match, Madrid went behind early. The stadium went quiet. Doubt returned. For 10 minutes, it felt like the old fears creeping back. Then Mbappé dropped deep, collected the ball, turned, and ran. 3 defenders chased him. None caught him. 1 pass at the perfect moment. 1 finish. 1 roar from the crowd that shook the stadium. Momentum returned instantly. Madrid surged. The opponent collapsed. By the final whistle, another European night was written into history. Week after week, the pattern repeated. When Madrid struggled, Mbappé stepped forward. When Madrid were tired, Mbappé ran harder. When Madrid were under pressure, Mbappé became calmer, and something even more dangerous happened. He stopped being predictable. Sometimes he hugged the touchline. Sometimes he drifted centrally. Sometimes he acted as a decoy. Sometimes he became the finisher. Defenders no longer knew where he would appear. Midfields no longer knew who to track. Coaches no longer knew which trap to set. You cannot prepare for a player who becomes multiple players in one body. Meanwhile, outside the pitch, the noise grew louder. Critics who doubted him began rewriting their opinions. Former legends started calling his name alongside football's immortals. Pundits debated whether Madrid had found their next Galactico king. The pressure didn't reduce, it doubled. And here's what makes this story dangerous for the rest of football. Mbappé thrives under pressure. Every whistle fuels him. Every doubt sharpens him. Every hostile crowd excites him. This is the kind of player who does not need confidence. He generates it. As Real Madrid climbed the table again, something else became clear. His presence didn't weaken Vinicius. It sharpened him. It didn't silence Rodrygo. It freed him. It didn't dominate the midfield. It gave them purpose. This was no longer a team built around one man. This was a team strengthened by one force. And then came the injury crisis. Players dropped one by one. Fullbacks, wingers, defenders. The bench started to thin. The schedule became brutal. This is usually when seasons collapse. But instead, Madrid became even more ruthless. With less support, Mbappé took more responsibility. With fewer options, he created more solutions. With tighter games, he delivered tighter margins. Late goals, clinical finishes, cold decisions in chaotic moments. He became the difference between a draw and a win, between pressure and relief, between doubt and dominance. By now, opponents had stopped asking if he was dangerous. They were planning how to survive the first 15 minutes before he broke the game. And still, it wasn't only about goals. Watch his off-the-ball runs. Watch how he drags two defenders away. Watch how he opens lanes. Watch how he controls space like a chess grandmaster. This is not raw speed anymore. This is elite intelligence matched with world-class explosion. The scariest version of any player is not the fastest one. It's the smartest fast one. The Bernabéu, once impatient, now waited for his every touch. Every time he receives the ball, 40,000 people lean forward because they know anything can happen in the next 3 seconds. And slowly, quietly, without any official announcement, Real Madrid became Mbappé's team, not because the club crowned him, but because the moments did. When the match is locked, when the crowd is nervous, when the season is balancing on one decision, the ball goes to him, and he does not give it back to fear. This is not just a comeback season. This is a transformation season, from uncertainty to control, from pressure to power, from expectation to execution. The most terrifying truth for the rest of Europe is this: he is still evolving. The finishing is becoming calmer, the playmaking sharper, the leadership louder, the hunger deeper. Real Madrid did not just buy a superstar. They unlocked a weapon that learns from every battle. And as the season moves forward, the question is no longer, can Mbappé save Real Madrid? The real question now is, who can stop him when everything is on the line? Because when the lights grow brightest, when the stage gets heavier, when the pressure peaks, this version of Mbappé does not break, he arrives.